Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Coach Yourself to Success using the Grow model so you can finally get what you want. My name is Ed Arellano, and I will be your trainer, instructor, and your personal coach throughout this course. So, what's the Grow model? Let's find out. But first, before we get to that, I want to go over something that my friend Zig Ziglar used to say. And he used to say, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. And I could not agree with Mr. Ziglar anymore, right? Achieving your goals at the end of the day is great. And it is, because it gets you what you want. However, when you make achieving your goals a habit and you make it a daily thing where achieving your goals is natural and it becomes part of your self, you become a different person. And when you become a different person, that is when you really realize that change that you're looking for. So this is just one way that you can become a different person, become that person that you've always wanted to become, and also achieve the things that you've always wanted to achieve. So let's take a look what the Grow model is. The Grow model, or Grow, is actually an acronym, and it stands for goals, reality, options, and willing to do, or some people also say way forward. And we'll get into why that is in just a few minutes here. But the Grow model is a tried and tested coaching framework. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we as coaches use this framework to get our clients to achieve the things that they're looking to achieve, to improve their performance, and to get the results, to get real results that they've been looking for. Now, about 95% of coaches around the world, and I do mean around the world, use this model. It's probably the most widely used model there is. In fact, it is the most widely used model there is. It is a 4-stage model, and we'll be seeing what 4 stages those are in just a minute. And the Grow model was developed by Sir John Whitmore. Although there is a bit of controversy there as to who actually developed it. Some say Alexander Graham developed it, and then it was popularized by John Whitmore in the 70s. Either way, whoever did it, they did a great job. It was, though, John Whitmore who popularized it in using it with athletes to improve their performance and improve their game. Now, we'll be able to use the Grow model even for ourselves, for our business, for our personal lives, for whatever types of goals we want to use. So it's not just for athletes anymore. Now, 2 of the biggest reasons to use the Grow model, in my opinion, are it increases your self-awareness. And this is absolutely critical for making changes, for becoming a different person. Because after all, you can't do different things if you do the same thing, right? So before we can change, or before a change can take place, we must become aware of our environment. And by environment, I mean our reality. What's going on around us right now? What is it that we're doing right now? And that we begin to perceive and judge our own performance. Right? So we need to be aware of what we are doing now, how we are performing now, and we need to be aware of it very consciously. So awareness is recognizing what's happening around you and understanding what you're experiencing. Right? Most of the time we go through our day-to-day in what I like to call autopilot mode. And autopilot mode is just that mode of doing. It's just you go, you got your blinders on, you don't see anything else. You're doing everything unconsciously, and you don't experience your day-to-day. You ever drive in a car, and you drive for 20 minutes, and you get to where you're going, and you go, wow, man, how did I get there? You don't remember the trip because you weren't paying attention to the trip, right? You were on autopilot, and you just went. You got from point A to point B without ever understanding or experiencing that trip. So, second is self-responsibility. And I am a firm believer in self-responsibility. We are all, as individuals, responsible for our own thoughts and our own actions, right? And when we take responsibility for our own thoughts and for our own actions, our commitment to them increases, with a corresponding increase in performance. And I thoroughly believe this, and I've seen this time and time and time again with my clients, that they come with a lack of responsibility and they say, no, the world's against me and the world, all this happens to me and I'm just a victim. Okay. Once they begin to take responsibility for their thoughts and their actions, their commitment to them increases and their performance skyrockets. And it's amazing to see the transformation in them and in their performance. And they are amazed to be doing things that they never thought possible. And this is what you'll be able to do by using the Grow model and self-coaching yourself using this framework. So let's take a look at what the Grow model actually is. Now, on this slide, you see I have Regrow model, and we're going to take a look at why that is in just a second. But let's go through what the actual Grow model is in itself. So we said that G stands for goal. So we have to define a goal. We can't get anywhere if we don't know where we're going, right? So we can't get anywhere, and I'm going to repeat that again. We can't get anywhere if we don't know where we're going. So what is it that we want? This is the first step. The first step to getting anywhere is knowing where you're going. So we're going to define a goal, and we'll see how to do that in subsequent sections. We're going to define that goal, and we're going to see how that fits in with our core values. The next step is we need to identify our reality. What's going on right now with us? Why aren't we where we're at? Or where are we? Now, to get to where we want to go, we need to pinpoint where we are so we can make a map or draw a route to get where we're going, okay? Now, I like to look at it as you're at point A, you want to get to point B, which is your goal, and there's a gap, right? You have a gap here. That's what we need to identify, where we are, what this gap is, and then we can make a route to get there. So once we identify that, we can move on to our options, and the O stands for that, options. What options do we have? What possibilities do we have? What can we do? What could we do to get to this point? How many routes are there to get to this point, right? Because we're going from point A to point B. So how many routes are there to get from point A to point B? Then, once we discover all those options, we're going to pick just one, because a lot of times, well, we see all these different options and we get overwhelmed and we say, oh man, I just don't know where to start. Okay. So we're going to identify one option and we're going to get to work on that one option. And that's going to bring us to W. W, again, we said is willing to do or way forward. And both here work fine. So willing to do is going to be, what are we willing to do? What are we willing to do to achieve this goal? Are we willing to climb mountains? Are we willing to go under the sea? What? Are we willing to cut off our arm for this goal? Well, if we're not really willing to do very much, is this goal worth it? Or is this just like one of those wanna-haves? It'd be nice to have. Well, when we get to this stage, this is going to help us qualify this goal. What are we willing to do to get this? Is it life or death to get this goal? Yeah, well, you're going to certainly have a lot of motivation in that case. But if it's not, if it's just a nice to have, are you going to be motivated to trudge through the difficult times when you're in the day-to-day when you're trying to achieve this goal? Are you going to be willing and motivated to do this? I don't know. This is something that you'll have to find out. But when we get to this point, this would be a great way to evaluate that goal. And then we'll outline our user manual for this goal, what I like to call our user manual, right? So we'll take and we'll make an outline or a user manual for how to achieve this goal, and then we follow it. Now, once we get into this, dealing with this model and going through with this goal and getting going and doing all of the work, and we initiate it, once we're deep into it, then every so often we're going to get to the re part. And the re stands for review and evaluate. So every so often what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to review what we've done and then evaluate if it's working. So again, using the map metaphor, if we're going from point A to point B, is the route that we've chosen getting us there? Is it getting us there the fastest way possible, the easiest way possible? Well, we need to review what we've done so far, and then we need to evaluate if it's working or not for us. And that is the Grow model. It is really simple, but it is extremely, extremely powerful. This is exactly the tool that you need to finally get and achieve all of those goals that you've just either been putting off or just really haven't had the motivation or the desire or even the know-how to get done. So, this is going to be a recurring theme throughout the rest of the course. I don't want you to wait. Don't even wait for me to finish this video. Start taking action now. Part of the problem that you have in not achieving your goals is you don't take action. Most of the people get to a point and they just don't take action. So I don't want you to wait. I want you to take action right now. Start thinking about what you want. What is that goal that you really want, that you really desire, that you really, really, really gotta have? Start thinking about it now and then move on to the next video. Don't wait. Don't put this off. I'm watching you right now. Don't wait. Take action right now, and I'll see you in the next video.